Hello friends, so I've got a quick tutorial for you how to turn this into this using the roto brush. The point is that effects looks, they're great providing they say what you want them to say, so really know what you want to say. In this case we wanted to say step out of life, step off the ride, it goes so fast, focus on the little things that matter, and we decided to do that using this technique. So I'm going to bring you in. What I use to do this, as you can see, just turn the sound off. It's not a static shot. Put it on a slider, a Syrup Genie slider. There is a device, shoot, move, shoot, but you need a lot of cables. I'm going to list that. Let's just assume that you did it right, and you now have this, which is a combination of this over this. Now to get that effect, I think I had a two second aperture, 2 second exposure. Because of the nature of the slider, I could it did that in, I don't know, 9 minutes, and then we did this in 5 seconds or something. Anyway, and so you got your move, but there's still a few hoops you got to jump through to get to here. There's a few hoops. I'm going to take you through those hoops real quick. Again, you don't need to be a genius. It's actually all worked out for you. It's super clever. So this is where you begin. You begin with this. What you want to do is use the roto brush to affect this. So you've got to click on the layer. There's my layer, and I'm going to click on the roto brush tool. Oops. And the roto brush tool works on the layer, right? So double click on the thing and that'll bring this up. And now here's my comp down here. Little comp, we're not looking at that for now. It is kind of useful because it shows you what's happening live. So let's give it a bit of love. But overall, we're here now, and you start. You want your brushes palette up. Get your brushes palette, because you're going to use those. Because down here, and those old days of rotoscoping are thankfully behind us. So I'm just going to zoom in and do a really rough drawing around Dave, and it'll do that for me. Boom. Okay, that's good start. And you then use the, we'll see in a minute, you've got to use the Alt key. When you hold down the Alt key, it takes away. When you hold it, when it's green, it's adding. So let's just make our brush size a bit smaller, say 50. And I'm going to take away this bit, but I'm going to add, I'm going to add this bit, and you will get there in stages. Take away that bit, and we'll get there slowly. We're going to add his nose. Can't deny a man his nose. And the point here is that it's great to have an effect that's got a bit of wow, but it's not about what you're doing, it's why you're doing it. And drop the brush size to 20, and in this case I think we chose right, which was it's about as close as I've ever got to Dave's crutch. We chose right, which was the device. The device should always be more important, bigger than the why you're saying it is always more important than how you're saying it, right? In this case, we've got the device suits what you're trying to say. The point here is you can be really accurate with this. It then knows to look and follow those markers. I said it before, but this computer tends to be smarter than we are, and there's a little bit of faffing around especially with this shape, I really managed to make life hard for myself. Note to self, in future, put a bit of green screen behind a bit of a green card behind something like this, and then you won't spend hours doing what I'm doing now. Luckily, there's a lot of other things going on, so it's always going to be a bit of a fudge. But look, so what it's done is it's now quite neatly drawn Dave, yeah, and every one of those little changes I made went in here, and you can see them down here. And now that we've done that, we are going to run this. So I'm now just going to hit the play button, and it is. So the way I like to do this is I like to go up 10 frames, because this is kind of the heavy lifting side of things. It'll get easier, but that's my. If I hold down the Shift and Control key and press the arrow key, I go forward 10 frames. And what I can do is I can then just have a quick look around. I had a fix for this in the end because it's just got way too messy. But I'll just show you a few little touches I go through. It's held really nicely to some of the lines. Wouldn't mind a bit of his hair back there, and it's really accurate. So another 10 frames. What's it done? And I'm using my wheel to roll in and out. It's all pretty good. Another 10 frames. See how it's just really nicely sticking itself to those lines, because I said those are my lines. It's got a bit. That's good for now. Again, Shift Control forward. And I won't bore you. This is what you're doing is Shift Control forward, and this way you can avoid any nasty surprises. There's a big one coming up, which is what you do. I learned this the hard way. How else are you supposed to learn? But don't try and grade this layer. You've got to pre-compose it. If you don't, you will. These things relate to what's going on around it. So don't try and grade this layer. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to do, and I'm now just going to whiz through. Okay, so back in the room, you've done your 5 frames forward rotoscope, and you've now got this, which is the beginning of it. Now you can see it's done a really good job. Actually, if you were to think that would have been a rotoscope job, there's days of work there. So you didn't have to do days of work, and that's really cool. And it's not perfect, but we are now going to start to work into it. But you can see we're now getting what we wanted to do. You can go and mess with because remember in here this is the layer, right? And then rotobrush school. Now look, I like to reduce it. I like to reduce chatter. I guess it means that the edge doesn't move around. So I'm going to reduce it by 50%. We're looking at that full res. The next thing I want to do is pre-comp this, because I can't grade what I've just done that effect to. The effect will then look at the grade and find new lines. Now that I put in a pre-comp, I can do that. And what I did was added a volumetric color. And I just used this is a Sony A7S III I shot it on. I used a LUT. I bought Phantom LUTs that I bought from Phantom LUTs. I remember the name. They're always great. I like this one. I like what I did with the skin tones. So I'm happy with that. So now I've got the LUT on, and again, suddenly it has really started to look good. A couple more things I need to do is you can see here that the sky that I got when I was doing the time lapse. So it's too bright, and the and also I can't see his feet. They look a bit stuck on. You'll see that in a second. So my solution to that is to. So my solution to that. So that's how it was before. So before, after. One thing I need to do here is to bring back the feet, because see down here, it won't do it. It's got the rotoscope. From what I understand, wherever you move the timeline, it wants to like draw everything. It's kind of frustrating, but I know that I want to. So I know that I want to see his feet. So the way I'm going to do that is I also want to see the sky, because if you look, this sky's kind of nice, especially if we grade it the same, which I will do now. So this is kind of a nice sky. Let's keep that. And the way we're going to keep that is by just some simple masks. Up here is my mask tool. So I want to see these feet. Double M. Double M gives you your mask. I'm going to blow the edges nicely. I've given it 300%. And you're going to have to move this mask. So hit V, and then you can select the mask and move it. But that's kind of it. And I also want to get the sky back. So we've got to move this mask ourselves. It won't move for us. So third position, then we go back to the beginning. And that mask obviously dropped down way down here. So just holding down my shift key, I can move that quite quickly. Also, I want this sky. That's the old sky because of the mask. So I'm going to draw another simple mask. And again, let's feather that by a couple of hundred. Hit V. Now I can select the mask. I can't tell you how long it took me to learn that. And then what you've got here should be down here, old sky, old floor, new floor, and let's turn on our. So now we've got the old sky, and remember, because the camera move is the same speed, it's all going to work. The next thing we want to do, and like as a spoiler alert, I just found I could not make the guitar head not look appalling. So that mask was if I left that mask there, it would dirty up part of the shot I don't want it to. So you can see here, because the mask hasn't moved. Now the mask has moved, so we are fine. It's done that. And there's our keyframe there, Easy Street. Right. And let's run that. And now what you've got is this. You will, this I haven't cleaned it up. You do that using the same techniques I showed you going back into the layer, but basically to have done that a few years ago, you would have hated yourself with the amount of rotoscoping you needed to do. It's not perfect. And as you can see here, there are you need to go and clean it up. I actually, just as a spoiler alert, I stopped trying to clean up the guitar neck here. It was just too messy, so I added a still and I tracked it for the end purpose. But this is that's another story. Tracking using the masking feature. But for now, that's what you got. So I hope that works and helps you. The thing with these tools is you think they're not tools in themselves. You think, what do I want to achieve? Oh yeah, I can do that with that now. But start with the what do I want to achieve first, and then work out how to do it. There's always a way. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope that was useful. Stay tuned and keep making awesome stuff. You're awesome. So keep trying things that might not work. That's how we progress as humans. If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. Keep trying, doing hard things and getting there somehow. Don't think of the what, how, think of the what, and then dial it back and figure out how. Okay. Stay good. See you again.